Okay, picture this. Your business hinges on a shipment coming in from overseas, maybe. Vital components for your product line.
With specialized supplies, yeah, stuff you just can't get domestically.
Right. And you're tracking its every move, focused entirely on arrival.
Hmm.
But have you truly examined the total cost? Like digging past that initial shipping quote to see where your money's actually going?
That's the blind spot, really, for so many businesses. They see the upfront fee, but the world of importing parcels now, in 2025, it's just, well, it's riddled with hidden expenses.
And potential pitfalls, too, I bet.
Oh, yeah, things that can seriously erode your bottom line if you're not watching closely.
And that's exactly what we're plunging into today. Forget just getting your packages here. We're talking about mastering import parcel shipping, how to slash costs, dodge those nasty surprises, and just operate more efficiently.
We'll need to dissect the major trends reshaping things, definitely. And those often invisible fees that just pile up.
Yeah, and the common mistakes even seasoned importers make, apparently. Plus, the smart strategies people are using right now.
If you're bringing goods into the country via parcel, any goods really, this is intel you can't afford to ignore.
Absolutely. Actionable insights to immediately impact your operations and, well, your profitability. And our insights today, they come from a pretty comprehensive analysis of the current import parcel shipping landscape.
It's a complex picture right now.
Okay, let's get straight to it then. What are the big shifts happening globally, the things fundamentally changing how import shipping works?
Well, the most significant factor, honestly, is the explosive growth of cross-border e-commerce. It's projected to surge by something like 14% annually through 2028.
Wow, 14% a year, that's huge.
It is. And this unprecedented volume of parcels is creating a massive bottleneck. Just think about it.
So way more packages trying to move through the exact same system. What does that practically mean for someone waiting on, say, those lab supplies?
It creates immense pressure on the infrastructure. We're seeing severe congestion at ports, at customs facilities, especially on those really key trade lanes like Asia to the U.S. or Europe to North America.
Uh-huh. Log jams everywhere.
Exactly. So the crucial insight here is that businesses, they have to be hyper-strategic about carrier selection.
Yeah.
They need to ensure their customs paperwork is absolutely bulletproof.
No room for error there.
None. And they need to prioritize speed, really, just to navigate these choke points and minimize potentially costly delays.
Makes sense. More volume, more potential for things to get stuck. What's the next big pressure point we need to understand?
Well, alongside that volume, we're also seeing a significant tightening of carrier capacity across the board, really.
You mean the big guys? UPS, FedEx?
Yeah, UPS, FedEx, DHL, even the Postal Service, USPS, they're all facing limitations because of that volume we just talked about, but also ongoing labor shortages and just persistent network congestion.
Okay.
Air cargo capacity, particularly, still hasn't fully bounced back since the pandemic disruptions.
And how does that squeeze affect businesses relying on these services? What's the impact?
It translates directly to higher rates and less negotiating power for shippers. Carriers simply have less spare capacity, less wiggle room. And here's a critical takeaway from that. Monthly auditing of your carrier invoices. It isn't just like good practice anymore.
It's essential.
It's essential, absolutely vital for protecting your profits. Hidden billing errors, missed opportunities for refunds on late deliveries, they are rampant.
Rampant, really?
Oh, yes. And they can cost importers dearly if they're left unchecked. Just adds up incredibly fast.
Wow, okay. Monthly audits is a profit safeguard. That's definitely a shift in perspective.
Yeah.
Now, we can't really talk about international trade without the elephant in the room.
Tariffs and the broader geopolitical landscape, yeah.
Yeah.
The ongoing tensions, particularly between the U.S. and China, they continue to have a profound impact on import costs.
How so, specifically?
Well, tariffs on a huge range of goods, electronics, machinery, even specialized lab equipment like we mentioned, they can dramatically increase the final landed cost, the total cost to get it to your door.
So businesses are potentially getting hit with higher shipping fees and higher duties on top of that.
Exactly. It's a double whammy. And this underscores the absolute necessity of implementing robust cost mitigation strategies.
Which brings us back to...
It brings us back to the importance of meticulous parcel auditing and skillful negotiation with your carriers. Every single dollar you can claw back by identifying overcharges or securing better rates, it directly offsets the impact of those tariffs.
Okay, so we've outlined the big picture, the e-commerce boom, the tight capacity, the tariffs. Now let's drill down into the specifics. What are all the components that actually make up the cost of importing a parcel? It often feels like trying to decipher some secret code.
It can certainly seem that way. But it's essentially a collection of various charges.
Yeah.
You have the fundamental base rate, right? Charged by the carrier, of course.
Okay, the starting point.
Then you'll invariably encounter fuel surcharges. And those can be quite volatile. They change frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Following that are the duties and taxes imposed by the importing country. These can often be the most significant unexpected cost if you're not prepared for them.
Right, those are the ones that can really catch you off guard, the big surprises.
Precisely. Then come brokerage fees. These are levied by independent customs brokers, people you might hire to help with the clearance process.
Okay.
But separately, the carriers themselves often have their own customs clearance charges for the administrative tasks they do on your behalf.
So potentially two sets of fees related to customs.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
And don't forget delivery area surcharges, or DAS. Those apply to shipments going to less accessible locations.
Rural areas, maybe?
Rural areas, sometimes even certain dense urban zones. Then you might see additional handling fees for packages that are, say, oversized or non-standard in shape.
Right.
And finally, there are often surcharges for deliveries going to residential addresses or particularly remote areas. It's quite a list.
That is quite the list of potential charges. And I imagine these aren't all fixed rates, are they? Like the same charge every time.
Oh, not at all. These fees fluctuate considerably based on a multitude of factors.
Yeah.
The package's weight and dimensions, obviously its final destination, the specific terms of your contract with the carrier,
Gotcha.
the nature of the goods being shipped, even the declared value. This variability, this complexity is precisely why so many businesses inadvertently overpay.
How so?
Well, they often lack the resources, or maybe just the systems, to thoroughly examine each and every charge. So they frequently miss overcharges or sometimes even duplicate billings for the same service.
Duplicate billings. Wow. It sounds like there's ample opportunity for errors to just slip through the cracks. What are the most common sort of financial pitfalls businesses face with this?
Billing errors are definitely number one,
Hmm.
the biggest culprit. Despite their sophisticated systems, carriers make mistakes with, well, surprising regularity.
Like what kind of mistakes?
It can range from simple incorrect weight calculations to errors in dimensional billing, charging based on size instead of weight.
Okay.
And critically, many businesses also fail to claim the automatic refunds they're actually entitled to for late deliveries.
They're automatic, but you still have to claim them.
In many cases, yes, or at least monitor that they've been applied.
Yep.
If you don't have a proactive tracking and auditing system in place, that money just stays with the carrier. Poof.
So it's not just about avoiding future mistakes, but actively going back and recovering past overpayments. That's interesting. What other challenges should importers be really vigilant about?
Customs delays. They're another major source of disruption and ultimately added cost.
What causes those usually?
Often it's things like incomplete or inaccurate commercial invoices. Or maybe missing harmonized system codes, the HS codes. Those are essential for classifying goods for customs.
Right, the universal codes.
Exactly. Even seemingly minor discrepancies there can lead to significant delays. It can throw off production schedules, potentially frustrate your end customers. Imagine a small manufacturer waiting on one crucial component that's stuck in customs.
Yeah, the ripple effect could be huge.
Absolutely. The impact on their operations can be substantial.
And I can imagine just tracking these international shipments adds another layer of complexity to the whole process.
Oh, absolutely. Unlike a domestic shipment handled maybe by a single carrier from start to finish,
Right.
international parcels often move through multiple carriers and across different regulatory jurisdictions. This not only makes tracking more challenging, kind of piecing it together.
Yeah, who has it now?
Exactly. But it also really complicates the process of resolving claims if something gets lost or damaged. Navigating these diverse systems and regulations, it can be a real logistical headache.
And we can't overlook the complexities, I suppose, of what happens when goods need to be sent back.
Yeah.
Returns.
Ugh, international returns, reverse logistics, they're notoriously complex and expensive.
Why so much more than domestic?
Well, think about the costs of just shipping goods back across borders, then navigating customs regulations again in the other direction, managing the return process in another country with potentially different consumer protection laws. It can significantly erode profit margins, plus the added complexities of international documentation for returns and potential restocking challenges. It just compounds the issue.
Okay, this paints a very clear, if slightly daunting, picture of the challenges, but I know our source material also highlighted some effective solutions. What are the smart strategies businesses are adopting now to try and gain control over these costs?
Yeah, definitely not all doom and gloom. One of the most impactful strategies we're seeing is partnering with a specialized parcel audit firm.
Okay.
Our source specifically mentions Franklin Parcel as a prime example of this type of company. These firms specialize in the really meticulous tracking, analysis, and crucially, disputing of errors on your shipping invoices.
So they handle the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. It allows you, the business owner, to focus on your core operations.
And what's the core advantage of using a service like that? What makes it worthwhile?
The key benefit they emphasize is that you recover 100% of the refunds you were actually entitled to.
100%? How does that work?
Well, unlike some, let's say, traditional audit models, where the audit firm might take a percentage cut of your savings.
Right, like a contingency fee.
Exactly. Companies like Franklin Parcel operate on a model where the client keeps every single dollar recouped. Their services typically include things like automated identification of late deliveries and then submitting the claims for refunds for you.
Okay.
Also, detection of those duplicate charges we talked about, monitoring address correction fees, another common charge, and providing really data-driven analytics to help optimize your carrier agreements.
So they find the errors and help you negotiate better deals.
That's the idea. And that immediate and full return on recovered funds, keeping 100%, that's a significant advantage.
Keeping the entire refund. Yeah, that's a compelling proposition. What's another strategic move businesses can make besides using an auditor?
Adopting a multi-carrier strategy is another really savvy approach.
Meaning not just using one big company.
Right. Instead of relying solely on, say, just FedEx or just UPS, businesses are finding value in diversifying their carrier mix, incorporating options like DHL, or even using postal services more strategically, depending on the specific shipping lanes and their unique requirements.
How does spreading your shipping volume across different carriers actually help, though?
Well, a few ways. It provides broader geographical coverage, potentially. It offers alternative options to mitigate potential delays if one carrier is having issues on a certain route.
Ah, like a backup plan.
Sort of, yeah. And it can also be a lever for cost reduction. You can capitalize on the specific strengths and pricing advantages that different carriers might have on particular routes or for particular service levels.
Makes sense.
And again, firms like Franklin Parcel can provide valuable data analysis here too, helping you understand the actual cost and reliability performance of various carriers for your specific shipping patterns.
Interesting. So not putting all your eggs in one basket and using data to inform those choices. What about those often murky duties and brokerage fees? Any strategies to get a handle on those specifically?
Absolutely. It's vital, just vital to have a clear understanding of how your carriers are handling duties and brokerage.
What do you mean?
Well, some carriers might bundle these costs into their overall rates, kind of hidden in there, while others will itemize them separately on the invoice.
Okay.
You need to know which approach your carriers are taking, and you need to be prepared to audit those line items for any unexpected or, frankly, inflated charges.
Right.
The source material also points to the delivered duty paid, or DDP, option.
DUP. What's that?
It's an Inca term, basically a shipping term, where the seller assumes responsibility for all the costs, including duties and taxes, right up to the buyer's door.
Oh, okay.
For the importer, the buyer, that can sometimes offer greater cost predictability. You know, the total landed cost up front.
That sounds like it could simplify things considerably for the importer, yeah. Are there any proactive steps businesses can take, maybe before the shipment even arrives, to speed things up?
Yes, definitely. For higher volume importers, exploring pre-clearance programs offered by carriers like UPS and DHL can be extremely beneficial.
Pre-clearance.
Yeah, these programs allow for customs processing to actually begin while the shipment is still in transit, still on the plane or ship.
Oh, wow.
It can significantly accelerate the clearance process once it physically arrives,
Yeah.
helping to alleviate those really frustrating port congestion delays we talked about earlier.
Anything else businesses can do on the contractual side? It seemed like there was potential for savings there too, based on what you said about negotiation.
Definitely. A large percentage of importers probably are likely overpaying on their existing carrier contracts. It's just a complex area.
Why is that?
Well, there are numerous variables: rates, surcharges, accessorial fees. But the key is that the rates and terms are often negotiable, especially if you have decent volume. Parcel audit partners like Franklin Parcel bring significant value here. They can benchmark your current agreement against industry standards, identify specific clauses where you might be able to reduce costs, and even assist you in renegotiating more favorable terms.
Based on what?
Based on your actual shipping volumes and historical data. Leveraging your own shipping data is absolutely key to securing better deals. You need to know your profile.
So it's about using your own data as leverage in those negotiations. Got it. Now, technology is constantly advancing. How is that playing a role in this whole world of import parcel shipping?
We're seeing some really exciting technological advancements, actually. AI, artificial intelligence, is making a difference.
How so?
AI-powered auditing tools are becoming increasingly adept at identifying even really subtle billing errors that might easily escape human detection. Things a person just wouldn't catch scanning invoices.
Okay, smarter error detection.
Exactly. We're also seeing the development of predictive delivery analytics, tools that can help businesses anticipate potential delays based on current network conditions, weather, etc.
Ah, so you might know before it happens.
Potentially, yeah. Which allows you to proactively manage customer communications, maybe adjust your own timelines. It's incredibly valuable for planning and customer service.
Definitely. What else is on the tech horizon for this?
Digital customs documentation is another key area of innovation. The goal is to streamline that traditionally cumbersome paperwork process
Right, getting rid of paper.
and thereby reduce processing times at customs, reduce holdups, and finally, integrated dashboards are emerging. Platforms that give you a unified view of your entire shipping operation.
Like everything in one place.
Yeah, real-time tracking, cost analysis, automated refund tracking, all in one spot. The real competitive edge, I think, will be gained by businesses that can effectively integrate these emerging technologies with the kind of audit intelligence and strategic carrier management we've been discussing.
It sounds like having that comprehensive, data-driven overview is just crucial for staying competitive now. Now, to really illustrate the impact of all this, do we have any real-world examples, like how these strategies actually play out for specific business?
Yes, our source includes a really compelling case study. It's about a mid-sized dental lab in Texas.
Okay.
They regularly import specialized materials, things like ceramics or specific alloys, from suppliers in Germany and Japan.
Right, high-value, specific stuff.
Exactly. And they were grappling with all the familiar challenges we've discussed. Frequent delays holding up their work, unexpected fuel surcharges just appearing on their invoices, and just a range of billing inconsistencies they couldn't easily explain.
Mm-hmm.
But like many businesses, their primary focus was on their core operations, making dental products, serving dentists. They just lacked the time and, frankly, the specialized knowledge to thoroughly scrutinize every single shipping invoice.
That sounds incredibly relatable for so many business owners. It's just too busy running the actual business. So what happened when they decided to take a closer look at their shipping? Did they bring someone in?
They did. They partnered with Franklin Parcel, the audit firm we mentioned, and the results were, well, quite remarkable, really significant.
How so? What did they find?
Just from late deliveries alone, they successfully recovered $18,700 in refunds, money they were owed but hadn't claimed.
Wow, 18 grand just from late packages.
Yeah. Then they recovered an additional $11,000 just by correcting duplicate charges that Franklin Parcel system identified.
11,000 in duplicates? That's nuts.
It adds up. And beyond the refunds, by using the data and insights provided by the audit, they were able to renegotiate their carrier contracts. That resulted in ongoing annual savings of $12,300.
That's a huge amount of money going straight back to their bottom line, year after year.
Absolutely. And the key point going back to that model was that the dental lab retained 100% of those recovered funds, the $18,700 and the $11,000. It wasn't split. It really underscores the significant potential for businesses, really of all sizes, to uncover substantial cost savings just by implementing these strategies and paying much closer attention to their import parcel shipping expenses.
Okay, so to bring it all together then, what's the most important message our listeners should take away from this deep dive into import parcel shipping in 2025, if there's one thing to remember?
I think the core message is this. Import parcel shipping is a complex area, no doubt, but it's ripe with opportunities for errors and overcharges that can significantly impact your profitability.
So ignoring these complexities, just hoping for the best, that's not really an option anymore.
Not really. It's no longer a viable strategy, especially with costs rising elsewhere.
So it's not just about the physical movement of goods anymore. It's really about having clear visibility and tight control over all the associated costs, every single one.
Precisely. Whether you're a large enterprise shipping thousands of parcels a week or a smaller business just beginning to import materials or products, proactively gaining insight into your shipping expenses and actively managing them is absolutely critical. And exploring solutions like these no-split parcel audit partners, as exemplified by that Franklin Parcel model, it can provide really tangible financial benefits, often without requiring significant internal resources or a big upfront investment from the business itself.
Right, because they find the money first. So for you, the listener, maybe consider this. What hidden costs might currently be eroding your import shipping budget without you even realizing it? Where could money be leaking out?
Yeah, what little charge might be duplicated? What refund are you missing?
And what's maybe one small step you could take today, right after listening, to begin uncovering those potential savings? Perhaps just a closer look at your last few shipping invoices is in order.
It might just be time for your own little deep dive into those bills.
Definitely food for thought.